Okay, so StarCraft, another small game.
Oh, man.
Came out in 1990. This is never going to end. It
Sleepless
just keeps
nights.
going.
StarCraft, Halo,
Holy-
Baldur's Gate, or Half-Life.
Just the amount of
We're not done yet either.
the hours I've spent playing these games, especially StarCraft.
Yeah.
We hooked it up I went to UC Berkeley. We just set up we networked the Macs later. I think the Mac
Sure,
version
for
Well,
was
there
Mac-
was
later.
weird
Macintosh.
console versions of StarCraft.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
it's on the
StarCraft
N64,
64,
yeah.
which is actually a really good adaptation.
pretty good,
but
yeah.
We played StarCraft just every night in the
Yeah.
lab until like 3 a.m., then went home and just academically were not that great.
So StarCraft is
You did all right eventually, though.
It was
looks
fun,
like.
yeah.
You
it
know,
works.
young Justin that played StarCraft knew it was a great game,
Justin.
but old Justin now sort of recognizes it as probably the greatest RTS ever made. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable making that judgment, at least for myself.
It was honestly, and it had an uphill battle because when it was first shown, it wasn't like people
yeah.
said, "Oh no, Warcraft 2 was so good. What are you doing?"
Well, it
right?
also didn't
Yeah.
look great. Like they took that feedback to heart, and then when they re-unveiled StarCraft, it was a very different game. But it's so Warcraft 2, Blizzard, and other RTS games were already starting to toy with asymmetrical setups, like these
Racist,
different
yeah.
squads aren't just palette swaps of one another. StarCraft really amped that up to 11, and the Zerg and Terran and Protoss are radically different from one another, from on a fundamental level, from their structures to how they build their units to what those units are, and like it's almost impossible to understand or believe that it's all balanced.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't, right? Like, I mean, the
Well, it took
Zerg were super powerful in the beginning. Like, over time, I think the game
But they
has
did
been
get there,
adjusted.
right? I mean-
but it was remarkable how they set up, like, the Protoss have to use the pylons to
Yeah.
power their machines and their buildings and everything. The Zerg have to spread
Yeah.
this carpet of creep. The
Like-
humans can, like, fortify their
The
tanks. That's
humans,
just so
the humans'
cool.
buildings can get up and fly away,
Yeah.
and nobody else can do that, and yet somehow
And
the
it
game
works.
still works.
Yeah, and it works.
isn't a mess.
And then the voice samples, right? Like already Warcraft was so memorable with the voice samples.
Zug,
Like all
zug.
all the StarCraft lines, from kind of like sound-alikes to like, Sulu from Star
Yeah.
Trek
Yeah.
to like Mr. Burns even, right? Like you kind of, everybody got something different out of that game.
I actually really think the campaign is very, very strong. Like, obviously, StarCraft is a multiplayer game. That's the intention. You're going to spend 1,000 hours playing this with your friends and strangers. But if you only bought that game to just play through the story, you're still getting a totally satisfying experience. There's a lot of mission variety. I actually find the story and the writing really intriguing and interesting with good twists and turns. You get to play as all three sides, so there's not really any villains. I mean, there are villains, but like they have a reasonable perspective. I don't know. I don't really have enough good things to say.
Did you play a lot of versus, or did you collaborate and take on the AI a lot? Because in the end, that's what we did more than playing against each other.
I did that more, and in Brood War as well. Yeah, it was more fun because it was less. There was less pressure on you competitively, and that was that was like couch co-op. It was a social experience, right? And we're enjoying this time together playing. But yeah, that third faction is what did it for me. Blizzard and the folks at Westwoods kept sort of leapfrogging each other throughout the years, and then StarCraft brought in this third faction. I was just like, wow, I can't believe that you're able to make this game work.
I don't know my enduring memory of StarCraft. I don't remember if it's literally the first game I played online, but that's my first strong experience of playing a video game over the internet.
Sure.
And I would play only on the map Big Game Hunters, and I would only play on a version of it that had way more like unlimited resources. So it was stupid. It was stupid as hell. You would just turtle up for like an hour and max out your army, and then just smash your army together with the other players.
And then nuclear launch detected.
Yeah.
Nuclear launch
Right
detected.
there, it has so many memorable
Yeah.
moments where like you feel like you're at the top of your game, and then your friend completely screws you over. With
And I
some
was also
maneuver.
playing online was me. I was pretty young at the time, and I didn't have any concept of. I mean, I beat the whole campaign, but that doesn't set you up for multiplayer at all. I had no concept of build order or build priority, or like you need to get this many drones before you expand, and like that's what even to be a mediocre player online, you need to understand that stuff. And I didn't know any of that. I'm just like, I beat the campaign. I'm good at this game, and then just got smashed over and over again on the internet and like trial by fire. That was my experience with StarCraft on the internet.